The Hitachi ZX 250 is a smaller sized excavator and it has an operating weight in the range of 25 to 27 tons. Specification information about the real machine is included on the back of the model box. And this model is unusual because it's the first one made by TMC scale models. TMC stands for the Merchandise Company and it's a Dutch organisation. When you pull the inside of the box out, it consists of an expanded polystyrene tray with a clear plastic lid and it's factory sealed, so you need to do a bit of knife work. And when the lid is opened, you can pull the model out, being careful not to hold any of the delicate parts. There are no instructions or other information about the model, and the only other thing included in the box is a small bag which contains a couple of spare track links and some mirrors. The last bit of packaging to remove is some covers from the crawler tracks. There are just a couple of mirrors to fit and they go on either side of the machine. There's no information telling you where they go and they clip on. But it doesn't form a very secure way of fitting the mirror and you can expect it to drop off a few times, and you'd also need to be careful that they're not easily lost. If you're happy to apply a touch of glue, then you could stick the mirrors. The metal track links are good with bolt head details and the underside of the body has detailing too. The track pads are hook linked together, so if you take them off the frames they'll separate into lots of pieces. The track frames are nice because they've got some tiny graphics which add to the realism. The cab has got a thin metal grab rail on the outside, but the lighting cluster at the top of the windscreen doesn't look quite right because it's all in clear plastic. Looking inside the cab, the detailing of the controls is excellent. The metal casting of the bodywork is good and it's all enhanced by some very nice graphics. There's another fine metal handrail opposite the cab, and the modelling of the boom rams is really good with silver connectors on the hydraulics. Looking down from above, there's a video camera on the back. The engine cover has a very fine handle, although the silver hinge is a bit large. Looking inside at the engine, it's really nice with some very fine meshwork. Up on the monoblock boom, the detailing of the hydraulics is exceptional. And there are also armoured hoses where the boom meets the stick. At the end of the stick, the metal bucket is okay, but the silver connectors do detract from the look. It's time to put the Hitachi onto the test track, and the crawler tracks are a bit too stiff to roll on a smooth surface. They are a little bit sticky to roll by hand, but if you put the model onto a rough surface and apply a little bit of downward pressure, then the tracks seem to work fine. Rotating the body is fine too, it's smooth enough and there's no rocking of the body at all. On now to all of the digging movements of the boom, the stick and the bucket. And these all really work fine. The cylinders are quite stiff, so any pose can be held. And the range of movement is good too, and it's not restricted by any of the hydraulic hoses that are applied to the model. If you want to pose it digging deep down into a trench or something, that's fine too. And it also folds up small to make a good transport load. One nice feature that's always good to see on an excavator model is that the bucket is removable. And on this model you have to undo tiny nuts and bolts. So you might need to put your fingers in a pencil sharpener to get them small enough to do this. Once the nuts are removed, you can then ease out the two fixing bolts. You can then separate the bucket, which is a bit sticky the first time because, as you see on this model, it's actually stuck with some of the paint as well, which has come off when you take the bucket away. Here we see a member of the CranesEtcTV team who likes to show off, holding his nuts. The cab door opens, but it's a delicate mechanism, so you have to be careful with it. And the engine cover up on top also opens, and you can use that nice little handle to open it. The hinge bracket is a little bit large and obtrusive and would have been better painted, but there's no doubting that the engine itself is very detailed. There's just one more test to do, which is the loading test and emptying some sand into a tipper, which is fun to do, but then if you think about what I just said, it's very, very sad. In summary, this first model from TMC scale model sets a very high standard. Both the details and the quality is very good, and there are plenty of interesting features, and it's all for a very competitive price. Hopefully TMC scale models can produce more like this, because this one is outstanding.